Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast.
Hey everyone, it's your good friend Eric Thompson. This is the Ninja Selling Podcast. Thank you as always for listening and engaging. We appreciate it so much. You guys, I'm looking forward to this one because I'm here with one of my good friends. I know I say that a lot, but this is really one of my good friends. I want everyone to say hello to and be excited to meet. It is Jack Affleck. Say hello, Jack.
Hello, Jack.
Jack is here. Jack is a high-producing, top-producing real estate broker in beautiful Vail, Colorado. Jack, you have nicknamed yourself. I'm going to give you the chance to share your nickname that you gave yourself, which is appropriate, which is what?
Ninja Jack.
Ninja Jack. Now,
yeah, I just got to say, it was actually one that was given to me by our managing broker, Matt, because he referred to me as Ninja Jack. So I wear the moniker with pride.
You wear it with pride, and we are proud that you have it. We're so proud that you are here. We're so grateful that you're here to share. Everyone should know that Jack and I go back. We've known each other for a while. We've worked together. We've been friends for a while. So you may pick up on that as we're having our conversation. Jack is going to have a bunch of takeaways to share with you. Jack is one of our Ninja Coaching members, a Ninja Coaching client. We're grateful for that. He works with Lisa Connors. So thank you, Jack, for that. Let's start with this. The theme today is going to be how to be a ninja in a resort, how to do resort real estate like a ninja. You're going to hear all about that from Jack. So here's the deal. Whether you're in a resort or not, this will be helpful for you. Okay, so Jack, here we are. By the way, we're sitting in Vail, Colorado as we're recording this, beautiful Vail, Colorado. Jack, we're recording this in June. We're in the middle of June, 2025. You have, if I could brag on you a little bit, you've had a terrific start to the year. You have closed already just over $200,000 of income. A couple of things significant about that. Jack, you were telling me this is the best start to any year that you've had.
Yeah. Usually I'm not off and running until well into July, August, and September. And so this is fun.
This is fun. Yeah.
This is good times.
So that's normal for you to have a big second half to a year. It's also normal in a resort.
Right.
Most of the transactions is based on seasonality in a ski resort. Most of the transactions occur toward the end of the year. Properties are booked up and rented in the wintertime. People come up in the summer, look, and then they're making their decisions in the summer and the fall so that they can have that property by ski season. That's kind of typically how things roll. Yet here you are, the best start to any year you've had. You told me that typically you do 30% of your business in the first half of the year. So you've already had a great start.
That's right. Yep.
Bravo. You can't see this, everyone, but I'm giving Jack a fist bump as we speak on that. Also, what people need to know, Jack, is that you're coming off of your best year ever. So you had your best year ever last year, just shy of $500,000 of income. Now you're having your best start. I want to just get right to something before we get into more of your fun background and things like that. Let's get right to a question I'm guessing people are having. So how does that happen? What were you doing when you look back 6 months ago, 9 months ago? Because there's a longer lag time in the resort market in terms of activities leading to results. What were you doing 6-9 months ago that caused you to have this great start?
Right. Good question. I think if I look back, the thing that I began doing much, much more of is to become more and more in flow with my people because they're not in town. And what I was finding, and this is really, got to give creds to Lisa because she has encouraged me to really be me with my people and share who I am with them and be genuine. And so what I was doing is I was kind of doing the Ninja 9 as a kind of, this is the rote, I must do this. But then through the process of, I have these Ninja note cards that I send out, but they have my imagery on it, a photograph that I have taken, my photo and stuff on the back. And I've really worked on my penmanship a lot to be able to write something that somebody can read. But my Ninja notes go out. I'm calling people much more. I'm much more on purpose and genuine with my brand of, if it's going to be a postcard, if it's going to be something that's going to be in their inbox, it has a piece of me. It's with my voice, and it's not something that's canned. And I think that when I turned the corner, engaging with Lisa and really doubling down and becoming truly a ninja, not just the Nino that I was at the time, and owning up to what is it that's going to move the needle. And I think that the thing it is, and I know you want me to say real estate property reviews, but
you can help if you want.
They help. But really, I think it is being genuine, sharing who I am with people, because I really enjoy my clients become my friends, and they enjoy hearing from me, and I enjoy reaching out and sharing my life with them and hearing what they got going on in their world.
Okay, so we have an expression: flow fixes everything.
Right.
And so what's coming up for me, Jack, is that you just got in flow. You got in not only more flow, but got in flow more authentically. And
Right.
so that's
Right.
the difference as you look back. What changed 6 to 9 months ago? That's you started working with Lisa about a year ago.
Yep.
And so you just really doubled down, really committed, went all in on being a ninja
Right.
and being the authentic version of you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the authentic version of you, and Jack alluded to this a minute ago when he talked about imagery. What you need to know is that Jack had a pretty cool career before real estate. Now, real estate's a cool career, let's admit, but before real estate, Jack, you had a pretty cool career. Tell everyone what you did before real estate.
Well, lucky to be living in Vail, Colorado, and I got a job being the resort photographer for Vail Resorts. I was in newspaper as a photographer, and then I got hired to be the marketing photographer, doing all of the lifestyle. Ski magazine covers came from it, hanging out with Lindsey Vonn, a lot of beautiful moments in a beautiful place. I will tell you, I worked really hard at doing it. It wasn't just running around with a camera. When I was given an objective to do something, I would always go through the process of knowing exactly where the light was going to be. And I will tell you, it is a lot of work to make a really good photograph. But being here in Vail, it was a little bit easier because as you look around from the top of the mountain and you have some fun friends with you, it is kind of easy to make a really good photo at dawn and at sunset. But I had a good run. It was about 26 years of being this. And my kids thought I was the coolest guy ever. And I would tell people on chairlifts, they'd say, "What do you do?" And I'd say, "Oh, I just work for the ski company," because I was honestly a little embarrassed because it sounded like such a dream job. And it allowed me to have a perspective of this beautiful place and why people come here and want to be a part of this community is the beauty of it. And the beauty is in the people and the views and what this living at elevation and being in this beautiful mountain community. I came here 40 years ago, to be honest with you, and I still have not yet found the exit door. It's just the place to be.
It's the place to be. So here's the deal. Any of you have been to Vail or have seen any marketing related to Vail, any imagery related to Vail, it's very likely that Jack took that photograph. As you think about the iconic, the classic Vail images that you think of when you think of Vail, it's very likely that Jack, you took those photos. I have this whole like carousel photos going through my mind. As a lot of people know, I'm an avid skier, love Vail. And so it's a really fun fact. So Jack, you use those images in your marketing.
Right.
So going back to being authentically you is using those images. And it's been a great way for you to make that transition from people knowing you as the photographer to knowing you now as the top producing real estate broker, and it was a way for you to bridge that and for you to really just stay on brand, right? People have you have a brand, like people think of you in a certain way, and so those images back that up. And I can only imagine how fun that is to use those images. And
thanks, I appreciate that, and it is a really nice tool that I have in my toolbox because, like, one of the things that we sent out. I work with a partner, Alyssa Tyler, and we're a small team up here. We sent out as a New Year's gift a calendar, and it was super fun to put together this calendar with each month's image that I shot, and it was appropriate for each month as it went through. And it was like, this is really cool. You know, I love where I am, and it's cool to share that with people. So
what made you want to switch to real estate?
Well, it's a good question because here's the thing is the reason I stopped for a second is I didn't want to say because I was getting old, because I'm never old. But when running around with a 40-pound camera pack, chasing athletes, there comes a time when you got to, and to be honest with you, I think my wife, Beth, had a little bit to do with this too. She goes, you know what? Maybe it's time for you to get a real job. And by that, I mean sort of like a job that I will carry on through the rest of my life. And also is, being the photographer was spiritually very, very rewarding. Financially, okay. But now I'm in a profession where I get to work with people and it's financially more rewarding. And so that transition had actually started when a friend of mine, John Calhoun, planted a seed years ago, best friend, and he went into real estate. And he said it was now 8 years ago or so, he said, you know what, you should get your license at some point, because I think you'd be good and we'd have fun together. Yeah. And I thought that would be great. So,
and here you are.
Here I am.
Here you are. Still having fun.
Still having fun.
Still living in paradise. So let's keep going with flow and let's keep going with fun. I mean, this is a fun place. People come here to have fun. They buy these properties for a big reason. So they have fun. Their families have fun. You've come up with a fun idea for people that you meet on a ski lift. So tell us about that. And I want, as people hear this, you will be entertained by this. And also, what I would challenge everyone listening to do is think about your version of this. So even if you don't live in a ski resort, even if you don't find yourself on ski lists very often, what's your version of what Jack is about to say? So what's your fun concept that you've come up with?
Again, shout outs to Lisa on this one, because this is a brainstorm session that happened, one of our coaching sessions. She was watching people walk past my office door, and they're walking to a chairlift. My office is honestly like 500 feet from the Arrowhead chairlift. And she goes, what? Okay, we got to come up with something. So what it was is it's this little hospitality satchel. So it's an organza bag. I had to look that up, but it's a little organza bag. And she goes, you could put your card in there, and you should get some branded chapstick. And I know, get some chocolate, and how about a little bottle of schnapps? And so that's what I do is I have 3 or 4 of them, and I'm on the chairlift and I engage with people. And I said, well, here's my card. And I hand them the sack. And it is basically a survival kit if you fall in a tree well. It's kind of the joke that I give them. It's like everything you need to survive is right here. And there may be a need for my card as well. And honestly, I've not really received a direct relationship of a deal or somebody contacting me, but you'd be surprised at when I'm listening to people and then I bring this up, then they say, oh my gosh, my wife was just asking me, when are we going to get a condo in Vail? And I was like, well, here it is.
Yeah, here you go.
Maybe now's the time.
Help. Yeah. Now you've now created a summertime version.
A Verdi bag. Yeah. So I'm a golfer. I'm a cyclist and a golfer, but when I'm out golfing, I go out as a single a lot because I like to go out early, first tees, and get done pretty quickly and get back to work. And so I have basically the same package for golfers on the golf course. A little bit different version. The chocolate's not in there because it's going to melt, but the schnapps will always be there. I mean, there's been some discussion on what that should be, but there's a little gift in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the takeaway is that everyone can come up with a fun idea that's authentic to your personality, that's going to make you stand out, make you different, instantly put a smile on someone's face, instantly add value. And I love it.
It was unexpected too, because people do not expect this to be like, let me hand you my card. And then you roll out the gifts. I'm like, oh, this is so creative. This is so cool.
Yes. Fantastic. Okay. So Jack, one challenge, one reality of a resort market for a real estate broker like you is that people are here only part of the time, right? They're here in short windows. So a lot of your clients only are here in the wintertime for skiing. A lot of your clients are only here in the summer. Now, a lot now live here full time or almost full time, but they're not here all the time. And so what comes up for resort real estate brokers is, so how do you stay in flow year round when it's harder to see them? So you mentioned earlier that you really committed to flow back about 9 months ago.
Right.
So how do you stay in flow year round?
Well, one of the things that I try to do is ask, when are you going to be back in town? When can we get together? Because coming back here is something that they want to do. And I always try to encourage them, whether it's through my newsletter. I personalize the top of my newsletter with a personal photo and some interesting things about what's going on, as well as the market stats and everything like that. But I think that there's an important aspect of bringing people back to a place that they love and that they want to be. Because if they're someplace else, they're dreaming of being here. And what I'm doing is giving them the permission, like, come anytime. I'm here for you, and let's hang out. It doesn't have to be a powder day. It could be the middle of October, and there's a lot of fun things to do, or, any other time. I try to just remind them of, through myself and what I'm doing, like, here's what I'm doing this week. I wish you were here. And I think that by that, they wish they were here too.
Yeah, so how do you do that? How do you send the wish you were here messages?
My Ninja cards, my little personalized handwritten notes is one way. I text, I give them calls. Doing the 50 live interviews was always a challenge for me. And I think a little while ago, Larry gave us permission to text. And so that I just have to chuckle with that because, there are a lot of texters out there, and be able to have a communication that people can easily digest. And sometimes it's a photo of like, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. Wish you were here kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't do that quite as much. I'm going to try to do that a little bit more. But I think that it is just reaching out in any manner that you can, thinking about them. And I think that that's one of the key takeaways, because I don't do this as sort of some sort of made up assignment. I do it when I think about people. And I've learned from the universe reaching down to me as like, when you think about somebody, call them, write something, text them, let them know that you're thinking about them. And I do think about my people a lot.
Now, I can guess the response that you get to these texts, but tell us the response. So you send a photo. There you are on skiing, or you're on a trail, or you're on a walk or a hike, and you send a photo.
Don't rub it in. I wished I was there. Or I'll be there in a couple of weeks. Can't wait to see you. Thanks so much. I have some really close clients that have become really dear friends of mine that really do want to hear, what's going on, and they want to be here. And so it's well received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so to my resort ninjas that are out there, this is what I would share with you. And this is coming from me. I spent 10 years in real estate in a resort. Don't underestimate how badly your clients wish that they were there. And you can leverage that so much. And also, as someone now, I live in Fort Collins, Colorado. I love Fort Collins, Colorado. And I also love Vail. And I love other places in Colorado. And I spend a lot of time wishing that I was mountain biking or skiing or whatever in those places. So don't underestimate that and leverage that. And in a healthy way, right? Okay, so tell us how you use the hot warm list, business tracker, to tell us how that's been an effective tool for you.
Yeah, actually, the business tracker is something that I try to review at least once a week, and I keep it as my hot warm list. I have people in my mind, but when you sit down with the business tracker, and I don't necessarily use the money quotient as the motivator, but when you do look at the commission, the compensation opportunity, it kind of does spark your interest a little bit. And when you've moved somebody from the maybe warm and confused, or you get them to the warm and then they're moving up into the hot, I think that it helps me really understand where they are in the process. And a lot of times I move them backwards, because if I'm seeing somebody that is on the maybe the hot and confused or something along those lines, and then I'll reach out to them and say, okay, where are we at with this? The challenging thing with resort real estate, luxury resort real estate especially, is that people don't move very quickly on things. It's not like they have to have these properties. Everybody wants one, but and Beth, my wife, hates when I say that you don't have to have it. She says, don't ever say that. But it is one of the real challenges, because everybody wants, but there comes a time when, like, okay, you've gone 2, 3, 4 years. Is this really in your future? And let's just be honest with each other. So I think that by looking at the business tracker, what it does is it helps me find out where they are in their mindset, and help me understand how I can best serve them. Because if I have them as a hot and they've gone to cold, well, let's find that out. I do that, and it's very helpful to me, because if I start to put too much of my own emotion behind the outcome, and I'm disappointed when all of a sudden they don't even return my emails, well, that's on me, and I think that it's more important that I truly understand where they are in their world, because we're so far away from each other. There's things going on in their lives that I have no clue about. And I think that it's important that I stay in touch with them and keep them top of mind. And the business tracker has helped me understand where they are in that whole flow process.
Got it. So it gives you a realistic view of your business, is a realistic dashboard.
Yep.
It also is motivating when you look at the potential income that's sitting there, and it forces you to ask questions about those people in terms of what would be helpful for them.
How are we going to move the needle?
How are we going to move the needle? How can we bring clarity to them? How can we add value? What's the next step? Right? All those really great questions to ask. Fantastic. Okay, so Jack, you mentioned real estate reviews before, but I was going to bring them up, whether you brought it up or not. Kind of known for that. So you've made an evolution in your real estate reviews, right? You've a transformation, maybe. But tell us about your real estate review.
Well, thanks. I'm actually quite proud of the new ones that I'm sending out, because they're really an annual market update, and they do not provide valuation. And that was one of the things that I used to do an RPR and not do it correctly. And I would send things out, and I was doing it the wrong way. And again, shout outs to Lisa, because she has helped, curb me with one of the templates that one of your other ninjas, what's her name? Misty?
Mm-hmm.
Misty? Yeah. She had a template that I latched onto, and putting in the FHFA info, a nice, beautiful cover page. We put a neighborhood update, which our company provides, that is specific to their property if they own. So I'm talking about buyers that I'm working with right now. So these are done for the buyers that I have with either anniversaries, or I'm staying in touch with them, and not just unsolicited. I do a little bit different. I will find out where they are in the valley and take them out to coffee and provide this for them. And then there's an ending page that is kind of the call to action of, if I can help you, please let me know. One of the things that I've found with this makes it so much easier and so fun is I ask them for their opinion on it. I say, I really value your opinion. This is something that I've been really working on, and this is version 4. And I want you to take a look at this. And when you get it, let me know. And then we'll follow up with a little conversation. I'll take you out for a drink or a coffee, or we'll go for a bike ride. Whatever it is, and I'd really love to know what you thought of it, because I want to improve on it. And I think that reaching out to them in that manner, and not just pushing something on them, but saying, I need you to help me to be better. And also saying to them, I'm trying to be better. And this is a tool that I'm using to inform people. And is it informing you? Do you find this valuable? And with that, I've broken through the wall. And I look forward to it. I got my little hot press, a thermal binder. I've got covers with plastic. I've really gone into a full cottage industry with this. And I sent out 2 weeks ago, there was 18 of them that went out, and then follow-ups came after that. So what I'm kind of doing right now is kind of going in a flurry, because I'm excited about this and taking it on. And I would challenge other ninjas that are listening to say, the 2, I get 2. Why not 10? Why not give as much as you possibly can and get excited about it? Because when I was struggling with doing the real estate property reviews and who was I going to do it to, then a light bulb came on, and it was so much easier when I had a true purpose for it. And I think that helped me, because then I really was adding value. And it gave me another opportunity to be in flow.
Absolutely. Got it. So the breakthrough for you was when you started asking people for feedback.
Yes.
Hey, I value you. I would value your opinion. Can you tell me what you think of this? Can you tell me if it was valuable? Can you give me any ideas that you might have on how to improve it?
Yeah.
That was a breakthrough. So up until then, For you, it felt awkward. It felt maybe salesy. It felt maybe pushy, and you didn't like that, like, because which is very normal.
I'm looking for a listing. Let me sell your home.
Yeah,
that is not what I wanted to do, and that wasn't the purpose behind it.
Yeah.
And so I think that by removing the valuation was a breakthrough, and also just being genuine. And I honestly am trying to improve upon this, and I'm getting feedback from people.
I bet.
And I'm hoping that I'm not like my feelers aren't hurt, because it's like, wait, I really worked on this. Okay, you want me to remove that? Okay, great. Okay, we'll do that. So anyway, there's that.
Yeah. Got it. And so just to clarify one thing, you mentioned before you felt like you were doing them wrong. And that's when you look back, it's when you were putting a valuation in there. You were using RPR, which is a great tool, but maybe it's sometimes it's not as effective in a resort. And you had a breakthrough where you stopped putting a valuation in there. You're just showing them valuable information, and then you offer the valuation as a next step.
On the last page, there's like, we offer that. And there's a QR code, there's a CMA, there's opportunities to reach out back to me. And that page too, I want to edit and say, is this meaningful to you?
Yeah.
So going out to coffee and sitting down with a dear friend just last week, and she's in marketing, and she's up at the Ritz, and she's giving me some great feedback. So these are great ways to connect.
So that people are probably wondering, the QR code is simply your contact information.
Yeah, it sends people to my website. Yeah,
perfect. So again, you offer the valuation as a next step. You just say, if you are curious to know what your property's worth in today's market, I'm happy to do that for you. By the way, that tends to be a breakthrough for a lot of people, to stop putting the valuation in there. It can really free you up with your time, with your thinking. Now, in a lot of cases, it does make sense to put a value, but ninjas listening, you might consider that as a strategy that might be helpful to stop doing it. Okay, Jack, this has been terrific so far. A couple more questions. One, anything else that you find that's very effective, very valuable for you in your flow, as you think about all the different things you do for flow? Is there anything else that stands out that's really working, that's effective for you?
I think I've really touched on most of the things. Actually, some of it has been inspiration that through conversations that we've had, because one of the things I was trying to do is click it and forget it with postcards. And I found a resource that would be able to do one for the head and one for the heart, 2 a month, and I could just pay the bill and let them go. And I had a conversation with you, and you said, but Jack, that's not you. I actually look forward to seeing some of your postcards and getting your cards, and this is not you. And that kind of reeled me back into understanding that if you have the opportunity to make something that is truly genuine to you, and that is what your people want. People really, our people love us, and we love our people. And so we need to share more of us and not have something that's so canned. And that was, thank you for that, Eric, because that was a paradigm shift for me, because here I thought I'd solved the problem, and really I just created a different problem. And so I've reeled back on that. And in honor of you, I just yesterday created Vail's top 5 mountain biking trails with a cool photo, and you're going to be getting this in the mail soon. So
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Yeah. So I think the takeaway for everyone is find a way to let your personality shine without putting, like, you're not putting the spotlight on yourself. This is not about us. It's about our clients, and make it feel like you. All of us have a brand, and do things that are consistent with that.
Yeah.
And your people will appreciate that because they appreciate you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. So you've been really nice to give some props to Lisa Connors, your coach. What are some takeaways that you've had from coaching, and how has coaching been helpful to you?
Coaching's great. Coaching is great. There's been a lot of takeaways. It's funny because I tend to, Lisa's become a good friend of mine, as most people tend to be. But what I have to do, though, is really set an agenda for us, because we'll sit and chat and visit. And so I always when I send in my weekly agenda for the week that we're going to have a coaching session, I also include, okay, here for our chat, these are the things that I want to really work on. And she's, one of the things that is great is the accountability is one of the main reasons why I have an accountability partner that is a ninja, as well as my coach, Lisa. But I think accountability is so critical, because we think that we're doing all the things that we are, And even when we fill out our weekly agenda, I mean, be honest. Did you really have all those live interactions? And did you really do these things? And if you're not, don't beat yourself up over it, but how can we improve on that? And I think that that's one of the things that you have always been good about, and she's been good about, is giving grace, because I'm pretty hard on myself. And I always say, I just need to be better. What's the one thing that's keeping me up late at night is, what could I be doing more of? And she goes, Jack, you're doing great. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing it. And so part of it is the accountability. The other is the support with, impassioned, compassionate support of somebody that knows, hands down, the Ninja 9 in the system, and reminds you, did you do the 16-step seller interview? Well, how did that go? What were the answers to that? Because there's a problem here in this seller. Where did that happen? And you can reverse DNA these problems if you did not do the right system. If you haven't done your buyer packet with the interview questions, and you haven't onboarded somebody properly, and there's a problem with them, you can probably find out where that problem happened, and it all comes back to the Ninja system. It really does.
So she helps you to uncover that and analyze that and help it to go better next time.
Yeah, it's like real estate CSI. Let's look for the fingerprints here.
I like real estate CSI. That's great. Well, hey, Ninja Jack, you've been fantastic. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. You have been very committed, been to an installation. Three installations, coaching member. Just went to Ninja Now recently in Denver, our new 2-day class for people who have been through the installation. So you're going all in.
I'm all in. I am all in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to.
Well, the stuff works, right? So
it's TSW.
It does work. Okay, everyone, send a note to Jack. You can find him in Vail, Colorado. His company, we didn't mention, he's with a terrific company, a Ninja company, Slifer, Smith, and Frampton, 3 words, Slifer, Smith, and Frampton. Incredible company, lots of history here in the Vail Valley. It's Jack Affleck. Send him a nice note. Who knows? Maybe he'll email you back one of his photos.
I'd be happy to.
Or just Google.
Hospitality bag coming your way.
Yeah, hospitality bag coming your way. Have fun. Google Jack Affleck Vail photography, and you'll see some pretty cool photos. Jack, again, it's been pretty cool to have you here.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening and for engaging with the Ninja Selling Podcast. We appreciate you. We look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. Take care.